Hello everybody, this is Elissa from Mink Arts and Crafts, and today we have the next episode of our flower delivery comparison series. So I apologize for not getting my video up last week, so we missed a week, but that was because I didn't have the section completed on version 2. Long story short, I was working on my dissertation proposal edits and didn't have a chance to complete section 3 over here in time, so I couldn't get the video up in time. But I have section 3 completed, I'm having the video filmed, and we will have, obviously you are seeing said video. But anyways, so for the drills, I will show you real quickly here. Let me find my spot on my paper so that way I don't have to find it in a minute. It did actually take a lot longer than I thought, or than I was expecting for the, a little bit longer on this section on both of them, and you'll see why in a minute. It was a little bit more confetti heavy. Last section, for section 2, I was able to condense down my section 2 kit all down into flat trays. So as you can see, those trays are all sitting flat. And for version 1, so for section 2, I was able to get version 2, the drills to all lay flat in their kits, which is what you're seeing for those 2 trays. And then for version 1, these are the drills for version 1, and I was actually able to condense these drills. There was enough of this light 3866, which is in the clouds. There was enough of this used in this last section that I was able to take it from the large container, or what I call the large container, into the medium container, and I was then able to close that down into a smaller size. As I move down into the next section, I really want to be able to get this one from being such a large, obnoxiously tall one into a smaller one, and I could probably do that. There's some of these colors here which I think are low enough that I could actually put them into smaller ones, and that would take these down size wise, which if these were smaller, instead of being this size, if they were down into that smaller size, going from, like, you know, the 3 of them, so 3 of these down in size, I could potentially go down, that would just make up, like, because 2 of these is essentially 3 of the small ones, so I would be going down from 3 of them into just 3 of these, and that would take up less space, because that would be down, you know, a nice chunk of space if I took those down, and that would free up some more room here to kind of like be able to, that would actually free up enough space that I could lay this one down and, you know, move these in and take up less space there. Basically what I'm saying is, if I changed how some of the other drills are laid out in some of these other size containers, some of the ones that I've taken down and used a fair amount of, not quite these colors, but some of these other colors, I could take them into a smaller container, and then I could lay this container down without having to change the drills that it's in, because I haven't used enough of this one by far yet. That's going to be much further along in the kit. Same here, this is going to be much further along towards the bottom of the kit. But I may do that just because I am sick of having this being tall and standing up. I may not, I haven't decided. But that's where I'm at for this part. I know you guys don't care. You want to see where I'm at and the progress that I've made. So let me go ahead and move these drills out of the way, and we will get into my progress for section 3. So here we are. So on this kit here, or on this section here, which you can see was essentially started from just this underside of the bow right here coming over, and then same thing right here. You can see my tape line. It started from like right here, the underside of the bow, basically kind of like right here coming over. This was, I always find these random drills, even though that need popped down, coming over. So this was the section right through there, or well, it's kind of like that section there, and that's what section number 3 was. So I started with version 1, finished that section first, and then I did version 2 and finished this section. Version 1, this section here, there was a lot of confetti, as you can see. We had this confetti here of the wisteria, as well as down this little edge of the broom. And then the section, all of the confetti of Kiki's face and hair. Right there, you get a little bit of the tail of the cat, and then the confetti, the major confetti of the flowers in the basket, all of that. So this one took me 3 hours and 47 minutes, which was also longer than what it took me to do the previous section. So running pretty consistent that it's taking me longer and longer to do these sections. That took me another, actually same amount longer, similar time longer. It took me 19 minutes longer to do this section here than it did to do this section here. So each section is taking me longer, which is also why it took me longer to get this video up, because again, this section took longer than the previous section. So that's where I was on that one. And over on this side, this one here, which is beautiful, very well done, took a lot longer as well. So the previous section, section number 2, coming right up there, I felt like there was another drill. Oh, that drill popped down. I was like, I felt a drill underneath my finger. I did. The drill just popped off the canvas. Let me pop it back down. There's static, and it's very dry out here right now, and the static just made that drill pop. Where did I put the drill? Somewhere in this can. There it is. And it just popped the drill. There we go. Now the drill is back down. Anyways, so section number 2 last week, this took me 4 hours and 43 minutes to do with all of the confetti that we had right here in the wisteria, and then the confetti on Kiki's hair and around her bow. Well, this section here, as you can see, we have all of this confetti down around the wisteria right through here. There's a lot in this wisteria, lots of confetti there. Let me see if I can turn the light down a little bit to get a little bit less glare. But there's a lot of confetti right here in this wisteria, a lot of confetti right here on the edge of the broomstick that you see just peeking up. A little bit of color blocking here, a little bit in some of this area, and a little bit right through there. But then coming over here, this may look like a solid color. There's a little bit of color blocking there. But then the rest of Kiki, there are so many different shades of brown, and so many different shades of color. Oh, so many little drills, and it popped down. This is my one pet peeve of squares, is I hate the fact that they don't sit flush and you have to keep like popping them into play. You have to pop all the drills down to get them to sit flush. That's my pet peeve. That's why I keep running my fingers. I'm trying to find all the drills that need popped into place. There's so many of them, and my brayer didn't like push them all down very well. And then, so there's lots of different shades of brown right here in her hair that I did. And then as you come down, even within her jacket, there's a lot of color in her jacket, her delivery jacket. There's one right there. It needs popped down. There. And then look at all of this. This right here was so much confetti. So much confetti. Like, there were some colors here where it would literally pull it out, and there was no point putting it in a tray because I would need 2 drills. That's it, just 2 drills. So much confetti. So this section here, while it took 4 hours and 43 minutes there, 4:24 up here, so I was increasing by like 20 minutes. So this section was almost 5 hours to do there. This one took me 6 hours and 14 minutes to do. That's how much longer the confetti took on this section down in here compared to the previous section. That's a lot of time, and a big increase in time that I'm trying to do, like when I get home from work and everything else. And normally I would do a big chunk of it on the weekends, but I kind of like to work on some other fun paintings. This is a fun painting, but when you're doing the 2 different versions, let me get that out of the way so you guys can see a little bit more. It's still fun and enjoyable to do, but at the same time, it's like I want to still do some other kits as well. So that's why there was a little bit longer of a delay. The nice news is that the next section has a little bit more color blocking. It's not nearly all this confetti because I'm basically done with the flowers in the basket, and now we'll be on to the actual basket. So there's a lot of color blocking in the next section, so I'm excited for the next section there for you guys. So that'll be a nice breather. But so now I'm going to kind of go into a little bit of my thoughts on this. Well, first off, let me tell you, I finished this section and I'm like, yes, okay, good. I'm done with section 3. Yes, yay, hallelujah, because that confetti, I don't like confetti, especially not like this. I don't mind as much because you're using the same color. It's a lot of confetti, but it'll be like you're doing a lot of confetti, like with the wisteria, where you'll place similar colors in lots of, be like, okay, here's 3 of this color, 3 of this color, but it's the same color you're placing, but scattered throughout. So you may only have confetti of 6 different colors, but lots of those 6 different colors, just not next to each other. So it's very confetti-ish of those 6 different colors throughout the area. This was like confetti of 50 colors right here. That's what this was. 50-ish different colors in this one area. That's what that was. And that's what I don't enjoy doing. This I don't mind. This I don't enjoy. So kind of my thoughts. I finished all of this and I looked and I went to go take my photo and I'm looking at the photo and I'm like, this doesn't look right. Her skin tone looks off. Did I lay down the wrong color of her skin tone? And I totally did. I ended up placing the color of here, of the cloud, instead of placing the color of her skin tone. And I'm like, because the cloud color is, let me pull it out and I'll show you why I did it. And it didn't help that I was doing it after, like I was finishing this after doing a 24-hour duty at work, a 24-hour shift at work. So of course I was exhausted. And then in my tray, these 2 colors are literally right next to each other. So you have a straight dash and then you have an angled dash. So this one goes here and this one goes here for her skin. But where they sit in the tray, they're literally right next to each other. So I went to grab this one and I accidentally grabbed this one. And then I'm like, oh yeah, it's a dash, I'm fine. But it was the wrong dash. So I grabbed this one and was placing it for her skin instead of this one and did not realize that I was placing the wrong drills until I had completely finished all of her skin tones. And then I had to like go sit there with tweezers and pull it completely back up. And I was like, why? No. Yes. So then I had to I did not count that as the 6 hours and 14 minutes. That did not count. I did that. I was like, that's a mistake. That's not going to count towards my 6 hours and 14 minutes to place this section. So really it took longer than that if you count how long it took me to like peel up all those drills and place them back down with the correct color. But yeah, that was just, keeping it real here. My thoughts on this. I love the rendering for Kiki. I love how she's rendered here. She is definitely much clearer here. I love that. Also, I like how over here, you actually can kind of get the feel where this actually looks, you can kind of tell that may actually be a rose. You can almost see like the curl of the flower. It doesn't look like just a jumble of color in a basket. So I'm liking the rendering of Kiki down in here and that part, and I think that's coming through very well. I still don't like this dark outline of the bow up here, even with the bow being completely done. I don't like that dark outline of the bow. I feel like that was unnecessary, and yeah, I don't like that. I feel like I like how the bow looks over here better. I feel like that is a much better representation for it. It's very interesting seeing how different the colors were charted for this. So like the colors in her face, they are some similar colors in her face. And granted, this is smaller than this. Like the colors in her hair, definitely different. The colors in her shirt, totally different as well. So yeah, she still has the brown sleeve. This actually has some fairy dust along her sleeve. This one just has orange around her sleeve. And then of course you've got her arm. But this entire back of her jacket, or her delivery jacket, is blue in shades of blue. Here, it's still brown with a little bit of like a blue shadow, and I'm like, that's kind of interesting that this one is blue and this one is brown. And I'm like, that's kind of odd, how different some of these charting choices were between the 2 kits. So it's just very interesting choice for some of this. But that's where we're at for this. And those are kind of my thoughts of the 2. So there's still parts of this one that I'm liking better. And overall, I think this one is coming together very well. It looks absolutely beautiful. I love the clean lines and how much more with it and together her face looks over here. But there's still parts of this one that I love the look of. I do very much like how clean the lines are for the building over here. The architectural aspect of it, the clean lines of this, I do like that, where it looks just so boom, right up, versus this, it kind of almost gives me the feeling where the building is kind of falling off backwards. This part here where it just says, where you can see the Kiki here, that I feel like I don't mind. That looks really fine, looks fine to me. I don't have any issues with this part here. Same thing, like how they did the angle of the building here looks completely fine to me as well. No issues there. They did use ABs. Here there's a little bit of like a fairy dust right here. But that's it. But for over here, the Kiki, the KI, the little bit of the D, and then the E that you see, that's all AB with a little splash of fairy dust, green fairy dust here. And then this is all AB right there. Whereas there's a little bit of a fairy dust there, but other than that, there's no like AB for the words or anything. So it's very interesting how they chose to do like their choices for ABs and whatnot for the two different kits. It's very interesting how it's going. And then there's some things where you look and you're like, okay, those are two completely different color choices. I still can't get over how different that color choice is versus over here. And that I'm just like, how did they go from here to there? Like, how is that so vastly different? That to me, there's some things and I'm just like, how is it so vastly different from here to there? And like the drastically different choices in color up here that I've mentioned before, and I'm not going to go back into. But anyways, that's where we're at. We've done with section 3. We're about to enter into section 4 for our next series. And like I said, or for our next video, this section should go quicker. I'm not going to necessarily show you on the big canvas just because it's tucked under my camera tripod for ease of being able to video and show you this on a clear cut background. But I will show you on this one. So you can see here, this is the section that we're going to be doing next. So to give you kind of that sneak peek, you can see this will be Kiki's, a little bit more sky, some more of the building, and then you get the basket, the underside of her basket, the rest of her arm, her leg, and her shoes, and then a little sneak peek of the tail end of her, or the base of the broom. So that's what we're going to be doing next week for our section, and then we're coming down. We will get into some more confetti as we go towards the bottom of this. It's going to be some more heavy confetti times. There's a lot of confetti in this kit. This is probably the least confetti-ish up at the top. So you guys will have to bear with me. There's so much confetti. So if I slow down at some point as we work our way through, I mean, look at all the confetti down here as we get into the bike. There's a lot of confetti in this small kit. I'll have to see how it looks as I get up. Let me kind of fold. I've basically been laying it like folded like that. I am going to kind of show you. So you can see how good this looks. This I'm excited for because there's like no, like hardly any confetti right in here. So as we do this section, this should actually go fairly quick for being such a big section. It should be back down to like, hopefully back down into like the 4-hour range for that section. And then as we get into down here, that section, I'm not anticipating it to be a horribly long one, but that one right there with the bike, that one will be a longer section because there is a lot of confetti right through here. That one is a fair amount of confetti. Not a lot of like, not the super fine confetti like we had up in the basket, but there are small little batches of like more, not so much line blocking, but like small batches of that. And then as we get down into it, so I am looking forward to doing it on this one and seeing how that bottom part of everything turns out on this one. It's exciting. It's going to be exciting to see how it looks. So this is being a very fun project. I'm enjoying it immensely, and I'm excited to see how it continues to turn out as we go through and see how the two compare. I love the rendering on the big one. I do not like working on such a big canvas. I feel like my comfy spot so far like is something like, as far as a big canvas, is this size right here, but for me it's just awkward working on something quite this large. I love the rendering on the face, but it's a beast to work on something so big for me. And both of them are huge, but I'm loving the rendering on it. There's still parts of this one I like better, still parts of this one I like better. We'll see my thoughts if my opinion changes as I continue to make my way through the kits. We still got quite a ways to go, as you can see. When we get halfway through this section, that will put us officially a quarter of the way through this project, because we're not quite a quarter of the way because it's an uneven number of sections. But anyways, I talked longer than I planned on talking today. I did not want to talk for this long, but I did. Anyways, I will let you guys go. I hope to see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.